In the woods where the tall trees sway, rich man Goofon used his motorhome, ready to play. With his paintbrush in his hand and his heart so free, he found inspiration in nature's harmony. Inside his humble abode, colors come alive on canvas. He paints, expressing all his strife with the spirits of the woods. He dances in the light, creating masterpieces every single night. Although he's living on. Good afternoon, my friends, and welcome back to Travels with Carl. I feel like I haven't talked to you since last year. That's right. Happy New Year, baby. Love you guys. Miss you all. Feels like it's been forever since me and Carl have been on the road. Feels good to be back here, though. Every time I shoot an episode in Carl, man, I remember the good times. 11 months out there, saving money and getting ready to buy my house. Today's episode of Travels with Carl is brought to you by Yazoo Simple Truth. That's what we're all looking for here in America, is just some simple truths. It's so refreshing. I mean the beverage. Man, if you had a great New Year's and Christmas and Hanukkah and Kwanzaa and any other holiday that you may celebrate. I laid low pretty much, but I enjoyed it. It was very restful. I got so much to do at the house, and working on Carl a little bit. I put the charger on it again today because it didn't start last time when I charged it up, and Carl always starts once I charge him, so I may just have to bite the bullet and go ahead and throw a new battery in here, which is, totally expected. In fact, I'm going to replace all of the batteries and get that generator fired up. I've never used the onboard generator. And okay, if you're new to the channel, what is Travels with Carl? This is Carl. Carl's a 31-foot long Alumilite motorhome with a Chevy 454 engine in it. It's a beast. And Carl was named when I bought him, so I didn't feel it was right to change his name. Anyway, me and Carl, we travel, and it's about me and it's about Carl and it's about travel, but it's mostly more than that. It's about art and what it takes to be an artist in America. So I have a BFA in film and video, and I have a master's degree in printmaking, and art has been my whole life. But what's really interesting, I think, and I hope you do, is what I've done to survive and remain an artist. Picasso said that all children are artists. The trick is to grow up and remain one. And I always wish I could have asked Picasso if he meant the trick was to grow up and remain a child or was to grow up and remain an artist. I'm pretty sure that he meant the trick was to grow up and remain an artist. I've done both. Anyway, so that's what Travels with Carl is about. It's about, I've worked over 52 different jobs in my life, and as a printmaker, I thought it would be really cool, and as a videographer, to do an episode for every job. It'll take 52 weeks, take 1 year to produce this YouTube channel in fruition. Hopefully it'll keep going for many years after that, but I'm hoping to get monetized here pretty soon with your help. Okay, I can't do it by myself. Me and Carl honestly does nothing to help me, but I still love Carl. That's got nothing to do with, his output, his performance. When we're driving, he does all the work. Okay, I mean, I steer and stuff on the brake and gas pedal and stuff, but he does all the getting us from here to there, and providing accommodations, because Carl is much more than a car. He's a house, basically. He was my house for 11 months. So back to the Travels with Carl. Every episode, every week, I provide a painting that goes with it. And here are some of them. I just thought I might whip through some of them today, but I apologize. I don't have the drawing or the painting for today because of the holidays, and I feel like that is a really good excuse, and I hope you'll let me own it. I'll have it next week, and I've got the whole week to finish up the other paintings that I owe you, because I've got a little time off for the holidays. So let me get right to it. So besides each week, we talk about one of my jobs, and they're in chronological order. In fact, one of the things that I've been doing since we last talked is creating a timeline. I'm just going to show you the top little bit, okay? Because we've already talked about those periods of my life, okay? So it all started in Pennsylvania, man. Westchester, Pennsylvania. And I was there from 1957 to 1980. And that's when, if you've been following along, we got Philadelphia College of Art in there, moved into the big city, and then, had to go across the country. I had to go to Oakland, to the Big O. But I've been working on my timeline. I've lived in 12 different states, and I've visited 47 of them. Not with Carl, but Carl and me have never left Washington. I mean, I've left Washington, Carl hasn't. And here's some of the missing jobs that are missing in action. I think I told you I'm going to have one episode that's just devoted to jobs that didn't make the cut. Here's Carl. Carl's, that's going to be our branded logo. Jebster made that for me. I love it. And I'm probably going to paint Carl to match this logo. So when I drive around, and once, you guys build me up a little bit, people go, look, there's Carl. That's Travels with Carl. That's the motorhome. So besides talking about each job and me making a print for each job, at the end of that 52 weeks, all of those paintings and 52 short stories, not just transcripts of this, because this is all straight off of the noggin up here. There's no script for the YouTube. I just come in here, I sit down, and I start freewheeling. Okay, so every episode's different in that regard, but I do feel the need to touch base on what Travels with Carl is, because a lot of people just assume it's just a travel channel. Not that a travel channel is just a travel channel, but I think Travels with Carl is a really unique, I think it's a one-of-a-kind YouTube channel. So besides talking about what it is, besides doing the weekly job, talking about that job, and then showing you the painting for that job, explaining how that's going to end up as a book, and a limited edition print. Each of those paintings is going to get a limited edition signed and numbered print. I'm going to go with 25 pieces, okay? And then there'll also be an unlimited open edition on my website, which is what? www.VANGOGH Incorporated, but it's not INC, is it? No, it's .INK, Van Gogh.Inc, like printmaker. Got it? Pretty cool, huh? Anyway, the book, one of my books, Amendment 21-A, is my other lifelong passion about ending prohibition, ending the war on drugs. And you can find that book. It's already done. It's ready to go. It was published in 2017. So I've been beating that drum for quite a while, okay? It's available on Amazon. Just go to the book station and type in the word Amendment 21, the number 21, dash, and the letter A. Because it's like an amendment to the 21st Amendment, which made alcohol legal again after they'd made it illegal for 14 years. So check that book out. It's $20. I'm going to eventually go on a speaking tour, And just want to give a shout out to my friend Joseph and Andre, Farmer for Fun, my friend Kristen Wilson, Travels with Kristen, and The Daily Beast with Joanna Cole, and my main man, Michael Wolf. Okay, those are my 3 favorite YouTube channels, and all of them inspired me to do this. Tell you one more thing, besides the jobs and the art and travel, I also get a little social political each week, and I talk about a little something that's on my mind. I'll probably, once I finish talking about Job 21, Episode 21, I'll probably talk a little bit about what's going on down there in Venezuela. Maybe touch on Ukraine, and maybe touch on the Palestinians, because we got like 3 different war crime situations going on simultaneously. Okay, the United States committing war crimes in Venezuela, Putin committing war crimes in the Ukraine, and our nutty Yahoo committing war crimes in the Palestine. So, you know, that shit, that's a trifecta right there. That doesn't fly in my book. Well, here we go. Let's get into Job 21 today. And you remember that I mentioned that I counted Philadelphia College of Art and California College of Arts and Crafts as jobs, because if you're a student like I am, I mean, you're shooting for a 4.0, right? It's a lot of work. I got a 3.91 on my master's degree. I don't even want to talk about what I got on my bachelor's degree, but let's say I wasn't up to speed yet. I wasn't even sober yet. So, you know, I'm working on 26 years. May 1st, I'll have 26 years clean and sober. So I also maybe I'll talk a little bit about sobriety. You know, if anybody out there needs any help, reach out to me. I'll see if I can help the brother or the sister out. Also, before I get into anything else, if you're a YouTuber, you're good at editing, you're good at social media, I need help and I'll pay you, okay? I'll not pay you a lot, but I'll pay you as much as I can, and let's say fair trade, okay? I need somebody that can help me blow this channel up, okay? Right now, I think I got 24 subscribers, which is, you know, I'm hoping for 500,000 or 1 million, you know, but I'll tell you what, I get a couple $1,000s extra coming in a month. I shouldn't even throw out a lowball number like that, right? That's like, you know, a self-fulfilling prophecy. So I'm on Maui. I'm working at the Kapalua Bay Hotel, and I put in for my master's degree, second attempt. Put in for a second attempt on my master's degree, and I'm going to apply for UH, because now the Army owes me $27,000 in the Army College Fund. But there's only one place in the Hawaiian Islands, or at least there was only one place then. I'm pretty sure that's the same now, where you could get a master's in fine arts, and that was the University of Hawaii, the Manoa campus. Now, Manoa is an area of Oahu, just outside of Honolulu, and the UH Manoa, their campus is right there, and it was kind of a cool school, nowhere near the prestige level of CCAC or PNC or PCA. Okay, I almost spilled the beans right there. But it was a neat school. It was a nice school. It was fun. And I only went there for 1 semester. But here we go. I'm going to rewind this a little bit. So I put in my notice at work. I let Dutch know that I got accepted for my master's degree, and you know, that he was sad to see me go, but happy for me, okay, because that's how he's a stand-up guy, and everybody, for the most part, was, you know, really excited that I got accepted. Anyway, Dutch throws a party for me at his house. Now, I had quit smoking for 7 months after I returned to Maui, you know, and I was doing good. I was, like I said, I was pretty buff, and I hadn't stopped drinking, but I had stopped smoking tobacco products. Okay, and so we're at his house, we're partying down, drinking beers, everybody from work is there, some other friends are there. It's summertime, the whales are there, okay? So I'm out on his patio. It was either on the second or the third floor, but it was high enough up that you had an uninterrupted ocean view from his patio or his balcony. And he had spotting binoculars out there on a tripod so you could really see him good, and so I'm out there looking at the whales with some of my other friends. I got a beer in one hand and a cigarette in the other hand. And Dutch comes over and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm looking at the whales." He goes, "No." He goes, "What's that in your hand?" I said, "Oh, yeah." I said, "I just broke down, Dutch." I said, "I got a lot of, going on with going to UH." And he's like, no, you can't start smoking again. Well, anyway, I did. And that was the second time I say that I seriously quit smoking. And I had one more time to go, because the third time I quit, I'll get into that later. That appears in a later episode. But smoking tobacco is fucking hard to quit, okay? So if you're out there and you don't think you can quit smoking, I'll assure you that you can, but I can sympathize with you. It's not easy. The simple truth, man. It never gets old. So there I am. I'm an out what's called a outer island resident, and I'm a veteran. So I get the number one top priority for student housing, okay? So I'm all set. I got a place to stay over there, and I fly over to Honolulu, and I get ready to, I go down to register for my classes for the first semester and everything, and they said, you need help with housing? I said, "Oh no, my housing's all set." And they go, "We don't show you having any housing." I'm like, "No, don't tell me that, man. Don't even go there, because Honolulu and Waikiki housing is expensive, okay? And it's a bitch." And so that's exactly what happened to me. So I start panicking, and I go over to they got a housing department, and I'm over there bitching at them, and then looking at the board, because they got a listing of a bunch of places, and I see this place that's listed at $250 a month. So I'm thinking, oh, this is going to be a cockroach rat infested motherfucker, but I got to go check it out, because and it's in Honolulu, it's in Pacific Heights. So I think it can't be that bad. It's in Pacific Heights, but for the money, I figure it's going to be rough. So I'm driving over there, and I'm going up this windy road, man. I'm going up into the hills, these beautiful houses, and I'm looking at the address that I've got written on my scratch paper, and I see this lamppost with the number on it. Beautiful lamps on the lampposts at the end of the driveway, and royal palms lining the driveway going up to this big ass house. And I think, no, I must have juxtaposed some numbers or something. This can't possibly be the house. But no, here it is. And the guy comes out, meets me at the car and everything, and it's a room for rent in this, I would say at the time it was probably a $3 or $4 million compound. But it was owned by it was leased by a church, and they held a church service there, and there was like 13 people living there. So we were all augmenting their lease money. We had to work 4 hours every Saturday on the grounds, and that included like cutting the grass and stuff, and it was a lot of work. I mean, that was 4 hours of heavy duty work, but for the price, it was just unbelievable. And we had this beautiful outdoor covered gazebo with a banyan tree growing up through the roof, and they built this thing around this banyan tree so that you could sit out there, and there was glass windows all the way around it, man. I mean, it was like a 180-degree view out over the island. It was breathtaking. And so I solved my housing problem that day, moved in there, and within a couple days I met my future wife. Sure enough, she comes out there to do her laundry, and I'm sitting there having a beverage on the lanai, which stands for balcony or patio in Hawaiian. I'm sitting there on the lanai, and she's out there doing her laundry, and I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?" "Oh, hi, I'm a new guy," I said, "and I'm going to UH." And she's like, "Oh, I'm working on a project down at UH with the East-West Center." So we started hanging out together. Pretty soon we were dating, and within 3 months we were married. I kid you not. So that was a huge turning point, a moment in my life, because she soon reveals to me that, not that she was keeping any secret, I mean, right away she reveals to me that she is applying to Harvard, Stanford, Berkeley, a whole bunch of Ivy League schools, and that she already has her master's degree, because I told her the reason I moved over here from Maui is to get my master's degree. I'm registered for UH. And she says she is applying to go next semester or whenever she gets accepted to the first major league school where she can get her PhD in Chinese intellectual history. She is from Shanghai. She's a full-blooded Chinese woman, and gorgeous girl, and brilliant. Okay, so we were like dating, and time is slipping forward, and and I'm going to school, and she's doing her thing down at the East-West Center. And as we get close, as time goes by, she gets a letter from Berkeley, and Berkeley tells her that she'll be conditionally accepted to get her PhD, but they want her to retake her master's degree first. And she's like, "Oh, that's a bad deal." I go, "Take your master's degree over again? That's ridiculous." And a very short period of time goes by. So she tells Berkeley, "I'm thinking about it, but I haven't made a decision yet." A couple days later, she gets a letter from Harvard. And Harvard's like, "We're not only super delighted to have you on board to get your PhD in Chinese intellectual history, we're going to offer you this blah, blah, blah." I forget how many thousands of dollars scholarship it was. And so that was a no-brainer. She decided, she was going to go to Harvard. And the next thing I know, we're getting ready to move to the Bay Area together, because initially she thought she was going to go to Berkeley, and I lived in Oakland for a long time, as you know. We had plenty of time. It was easier to go to the Bay Area first from Hawaii. I had a transfer to the Sheraton Palace in San Francisco, so we'll get set up there. I'm just basically going to go from one Sheraton to another, and I'll save that for the next episode. But so I wasn't at that house for one semester of school, met my wife, and she gets accepted to Harvard. So I'm going to keep you in suspense as to what happens sort of simultaneously. Actually, this is like a 2-for-1 episode, because I'm not going to reveal it, but the reason I went to Oahu initially was to go to UH, and I'll just leave it at that. That's good for today. We're at 24 minutes anyway. I kind of spilled the beans a little bit. Not too bad. I always do that though, don't I? It's like a block of Swiss cheese up there, man. Anyway. So how about that, Venezuela? We went from just blowing boats up in the water because we think people are transporting cocaine, which they were. But we just skipped that whole search and seizure and innocent till proven guilty thing. Forget about boarding boats. We're just, Pete Hegseth and the Trumpster, they're just blowing that shit right up. No time for search warrants. No time to do any paperwork. Now they've taken it to a whole nother level after they've blown like 20 ships up. Excuse me. Now they're going to go capture Maduro and his wife in the middle of the night while they're sleeping and abduct them, throw them onto an army helicopter, probably in handcuffs, throw them in an army helicopter and or Marine Corps, but it was Delta Force that went and got them, and then whisked them off of right out of their country, gone. And to an undisclosed location, which I suspect was probably one of the little islands right off of Venezuela, or they might have had enough fuel to fly back to the aircraft carrier and threw them in the brig down there. We'll find out eventually. The truth, more of the truth will come out. The simple truth, right? That's what we're looking for. Just a little bit of the simple truth. Now, I keep secrets from you. Like, I'm not telling you where I was working while I was going to UH. I kind of slipped a little bit, but I don't lie to you, okay? There has to be some suspense to this whole thing. I'm talking about 52 jobs. I'm not just going to sit there on episode 1 and list all my jobs. I can't do them justice, because every one of these things that I consider a job, whether it's college or an actual job where I'm making money instead of spending money, it's got a story to it. They all have good stories. Some better than others. Like, UH, the only real curveball in that, well, there's a couple curveballs. They dropped the ball. Speaking of balls, they dropped the ball on my fucking housing. And then I meet my wife, which I never would have met if I had graduate housing, right? I would have had a studio room to myself to get my master's degree, and I probably would have stayed at UH and completed my master's degree, which would have perhaps changed the course of my life. Instead, a master's degree gets another chance down the road. We'll leave that till next week. But in the meantime, I want you to all have fun. Try to help me out with the channel. If you can share this after you watch this, if you can like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, I think I'm up to 24 subscribers now. It's not growing at quite the pace that I want it to, but it's still acceptable and respectable. And I know people are monetizing their channels in 6 months. Okay, so hell, I'm only into it for 21 weeks so far. What's that, 5 months, give or take? Doesn't seem that long to me, but man, it's exciting. So this is episode 21. I don't know if you're really paying close attention. I had to adjust those numbers because you remember episode, I think it was 17, where I was just explaining about why I wasn't sure about the job, and I had to get my W-2 forms and write to the Social Security Department. I decided to just make that episode 0000, and then I changed the numbering. So if you go back and watch it, like episode 18, I might say this is episode 19, but it's actually 18 now because I had to back everything up. Luckily, I hadn't written anything or done listed all of the jobs, but they do have them all listed out now, all the way to my current location. Yeah, you could zoom in on that if you want to, but I'm not going to tell you. So have fun, have a beautiful week. Happy New Year again, and wish you all the best, man, for 2026. Let's kick Trump in the ass, get him out of the White House, put him in prison, and move on. Okay, I don't even care if we get Vancy Pants. I'll take anybody over Trump, for the rest of the term. That's good with me. But I love you all, baby. Let's ride.
Surrounded by the bees, the birds and the breeze, his motor home in the woods where creativity sees. Sun will the boat, colors come alive on canvas. He paints, pressing all his strife with the spirits of the woods. He dances in the light, creating masterpieces every single